guys. We're really excited to be here at AWS reInvent. My name is Randall Hunt. This is Danilo, and this is Julio.
Hi.
We are really excited about the fact that in a few more hours, oh, hey, we should switch positions because the banner's wrong, but oh well. So in a few more hours, we've got James Hamilton's keynote, which I'm personally really excited about. And already at reInvent, we've had a bunch of other really fun activities. So we've had the hackathon, the Dev Community Summit, the Global Partner Summit is ongoing right now. What have you guys seen so far?
Oh, yesterday I was at the hackathon, and it was really interesting because in this hackathon we are supporting 4 non-for-profit organizations, and one of the topics was, for example, wildlife conservation, and this team, they created a conversational interface where you can ask questions like, how many elephants did you spot in that location yesterday? And the interface was answering, oh, we spotted 4 elephants, and you can really use a natural interface. And they were, of course, planning to integrate this also with Amazon Alexa so that you can really use voice and ask questions.
That is awesome.
Yeah, now that everybody's got a dot, that's...
Yeah, since everybody attending here at the event got an Amazon Echo Dot, it's interesting.
Julio, do you want to switch places?
Sure.
I'm staying still.
Yeah, Danilo's in the middle, so he gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about the game day. We just got a new one in partnership with Red Hat, and totally revamped from the ground up to be more exciting. And it's impressive that we are getting more developer events and very different kinds of events, so everybody can learn collaborative, cooperative as they are. And also the community pre-day was amazing, right?
Yeah. I saw that there was this session where we had 4 AWS user group leaders from Germany, China, Japan, the USA as well, and they were explaining how they engage their community, how they support them, how they ask for feedback to understand how to improve the community, for example, the topics they are interested to, or if they want more advanced topics, or how to manage learning for new people coming to the communities.
Yeah, and they really care about, I thought really interesting to see the guy from the Japan user group saying how they grew their user group to the size that it is today. And also
it was like 3,000 people, I think.
Yeah. And the open source part was really cool. We are growing our open source projects and contributions, and we had the major partners in open source talking about how they incentivize communities, how they manage projects, how they automate things at GitHub, at Netflix, and everybody that's doing heavy open source development on AWS was there. That was really cool.
Is there anything coming up in the next few days that you guys are really excited about without giving anything away?
Oh, well, there's so many things coming, so many sessions, interesting topics. Maybe one thing is, of course, the party, the replay party. So everybody's asking who will be playing there, and I have still no clue.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of side events. I believe that sessions are just one of the attractions now. We have hands-on labs, we have boot camps, we have several training opportunities for everybody that's here. We even have 3 new certification exams. We have on beta a networking exam, a security exam, and a big data exam that people can take at the event. And it's cool because even if you don't pass, you have a retake afterwards.
It's so like a voucher to take it again in March, right? Because they're not going to get the results to you until March because it's the beta exam.
And there's the mini conferences, there's even a race, and a lot of stuff that won't be on YouTube and makes total sense to have here and being here experiencing reInvent personally.
I know the race is tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah.
And I tell that the AWS Cloud Ninja is going to be running in that. So we'll see if we can find that mascot.
Any clue who's inside the Ninja costumes?
I have no idea who's inside.
Yeah, and on Thursday there's also the session by Adrian Cockcroft. He will talk about open source. Yeah, it will be. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm really excited that Adrian's joined the team. I think there's a ton of value that he's going to be able to add both to the community and to AWS as a whole. So I'm excited to see what he has to say, and what his plans are. It's kind of a cool new addition.
And of course, the announcements. Let's see what's coming, right?
Yeah, and all of the announcements every day after the keynotes will be back live on Twitch, and we'll be telling you sort of our take on it. It may not be Danilo, Julio, and I every single day, but generally it will be one of the developer evangelists and hopefully a panelist from another team at Amazon. But one thing I wanted to cover is this has been 2016 for AWS. It's been a great year. We've already released a ton of really cool stuff that, as an engineer, I'm super excited about. I mean, just in November, we did the serverless application model. We put out some new edge locations. We did first in, first out queues on SQS. A new IAM console that makes it easier to deal with a large number of users.
T2 medium on Aurora.
T2 mediums on Aurora, which makes working with Aurora and dev workloads a lot easier. I mean, there's a ton of really cool stuff, and that's just in November of 2016. We've done something like 700 plus updates so far this year, which is more than one per day. It's more than 2 per day.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified at having to learn all the new stuff.
And now we are at 3 casinos, expecting so many people. It's very good to get to know everybody, and I think the networking is a big part of it.
Yeah, in these events you can really talk with customers, with partners, understand what they do, share best practices. Yeah. Coming back to the announcements, one of the announcements that got me interested is the new serverless application model, because I like serverless architecture. I think they can change the way we are going to build applications in the future.
I mean, you literally wrote the book on serverless architecture and serverless things, so.
Yeah, it's something that I'm really passionate about.
If any of you guys are here watching us, look for this guy. He's got a couple copies.
Are you going to sign them?
Yeah, if they ask. Okay. Otherwise, I would not spoil the book.
Can I get one?
Of course.
So we've got the serverless mini-conf happening in the Mirage, right?
Yeah, it's on Thursday. So,
and I'm giving a session there. I think you are as well, right?
No, I think I will be more learning.
Learning?
The afternoon, yeah.
Learning, says the person who wrote the book on it. So I'm giving a session on Thursday at the Mirage, and then I'm doing a repeat on Friday if that one's already booked, if anybody wants to come join. It's about how to use Lambda and as a policy enforcement tool within your infrastructure. I think it's a cool talk. The guy who originally made it is named Brian Liston, and he couldn't join us because he's getting back surgery. But I've kind of taken that talk and made it into my own, and we'll see if it does Brian justice. So.
Cool. I'll be doing a couple sessions myself. I'll be on the developer lounge, talking about my experiences on my own pet project.
So the developer lounge is in the Expo hall, and that's to our right. And the developer lounge is really cool, and I strongly encourage anybody who's attending reInvent to go check it out, because there's going to be a ton of exciting talks happening from real engineers at AWS, and they'll be able to go in and they'll be able to tell you exactly how they do their day-to-day work on AWS, and I think it'll be very compelling. Are you giving any other sessions?
I'll be talking about Beanstalk in one session on Wednesday, and about CloudFront content delivery for e-learning.
Ah, nice. I'm also having some dev chats on Wednesday, and of course I will talk about serverless, but I will also try to talk about 2 other things that I think are really getting pervasive in our lives, are mobile and IoT, so how we can use them to improve our lives.
Yeah, IoT is impossible to miss these days, right? Everything's around it, and it's no different at reInvent. We have a lot of going around that.
Well, I just saw James Hamilton's talk in the Partner Summit, and he was all about IoT. He was talking about how his boat and everything on his boat is using the IoT framework, and how he's measuring things and collecting all this data. And I think you're exactly right. IoT is going to transform everything that we do as humans. It's the next big thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, also yesterday in the hackathon, one of the team, actually the team that won, was about how we can improve our buildings to be more green, to reduce the impact on the environment. And one thing that they were addressing was the waste, how to manage waste. So IoT can really help there, from sensors that can check the weight of your dumpster and understand when you need someone to collect your waste and automate the process, to internet buttons that you can push and maybe automate the logistics to bring away your waste.
And it's impressive. We have from the smallest electronics, such as the Amazon Dash buttons and our own IoT button, to really high-scale stuff such as Boeing
tractors
and GE's Boeing turbines.
Yeah, the turbines to produce electricity.
Like that.
So another IoT device that I'm kind of excited about, and maybe this is more of a device than an IoT device, is Alexa. And I know that we're really big on Alexa this year. I know that every single one of the attendees with a full conference pass got an Echo Dot. Do you guys have a favorite Alexa skill?
Well,
oh, wow. Maybe the one that I built recently for it was a demo setup for a conference, so I used a bike sharing prediction model where you could ask and predict how many bikes would be rented by people in a town, and then I connected this machine learning engine with an Alexa skill so that you can ask and say, hey Alexa, how many bikes will be rented on Thursday? And the Alexa skill was checking the weather forecast, because of course weather was one of the parameters for the model. Then using the model to understand how many bikes and say, oh, tomorrow it will be raining and I suppose probably 400 bikes will be rented. So it was really an interesting setup.
Yeah. I really want to see the smart home that we're presenting on the Expo hall. They have like everything on your house, lights, thermostats, all controlled by Alexa. That's going to be cool.
So there's really a demo setup for that.
Yeah. I believe it's going to be a tiny house, but let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Back when I interviewed at Amazon, I wrote an Alexa skill to sort of hijack the interview. So I would say, hey Alexa, should Amazon hire Randall Hunt? And it would say yes, for these reasons. And I think that's my favorite Alexa skill, considering it helped me land a job here, which is by far one of the best jobs I've ever had.
Was the name configurable or only for your name works?
It turned out that we had to misspell the word Amazon, and I had to mispronounce the word Amazon in order to get it to accept Amazon as one of the reserved words in the API. And the name was not configurable. No, it was all hard-coded. I made it about 10 minutes before the interview. So, and then there's a bunch of other really cool stuff that we have going on with, in the Mirage, there's the giant Alexa, which is, I haven't seen it yet, but have you guys seen it?
I was there yesterday, and it was completely packed. You could barely walk at the Mirage.
It's so crowded, so many people, but it was interesting because you could walk around and see this huge echo. And
a lot of people talking to it.
Trying to.
So, moving forward, what are the sessions, aside from the ones you've already been to, that you're most excited to see, if you have any particular session?
Well, I really want to see the rock stars, like James Hamilton and Adrian. Adrian is a really interesting guy to watch, and he has a very unique perspective on everything cloud, so I really want to see what
I'm looking forward also to the State of the Union. So we have these talks where usually our general manager talk about how the part that they cover is going to evolve in the next months. So the State of the Union on Alexa and the State of the Union on IoT are really two talks that I'm looking forward to see the new developments and to also hear new stories from our customers to see what they build.
Yeah, and everybody should keep the application updated and really check out for new sessions that come on the schedule, especially after the launches. We certainly have sessions on everything that we are announcing this week, and look out for those in the schedule.
Yeah, for people that is not here, we are trying to send a brief summary of some of the sessions on Twitter on the AWS reInvent account.
And again, you guys can check this out tomorrow at 12:30 and Wednesday and Thursday at 12:30. The days tend to blur together here at Amazon reInvent. And we'll recap those on Twitch.
Yeah. Not only recap, but make sense out of it for everybody.
It can sometimes be a little hard when you get all that information thrown at you at once to distill it into the actionable pieces, because not everything that gets released is relevant for every customer. And I'm a developer and I'm an engineer, so I love to focus on kind of the developer things. But then a few weeks later after I've thought about it, the other releases also make tons of sense. And I'm like, wow, I could really use that too. So is there anybody on Twitch that has any questions? Because we really encourage you guys to participate and ask whatever questions you want. We're more than happy to answer them. You guys have a great panel here that's able to tell you whatever you need to know. So
let's see.
One of the other things that I'm pretty excited about is the Big Data Conf, the Big Data Mini Conf.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure where that's happening. Do you guys know?
It's on the Resource Minicon, I believe, on when?
I'm not sure if it's Wednesday or Thursday. I have to double check.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually we start with the vision on big data, and then we enter into more details within the recent announcements. Yeah.
It's very interesting that we are taking this approach because people are used to just sit for the sessions, and now they have the opportunity to go to these mini conferences and dive deeper on specific topics such as big data, security, and every area. Right?
Yeah, I think the security minicon is running now live.
So Adam Delime from Twitch asked, have you seen anything cool in the exhibition hall so far? And I think you guys already answered that, but would you mind recapping? I think you mentioned the smart home, right?
Yeah, and we are seeing a lot of very cool swag from our partners. I really recommend everybody to get, if you're here, go early because a lot of cool stuff is going to be there.
I know that the Cloud Ninja, the AWS Cloud Ninja, is going to be wandering around the Expo booth a little bit later. I would take a selfie with him and then tweet it at the AWS Cloud Ninja handle for a quick little demo. Let's see. Do you get
any other questions out there?
Bao Wang, or BOWEWANG, says, your sessions are so popular. Any tips on how to reserve them?
Yeah, maybe we can give a tip. So after the keynotes on Wednesday and Thursday, there will be new products announcements, so there will be new sessions. So you can look for this new session and book them very quickly.
And
let's see, do we have any other questions?
Your sessions are so popular. Any tips how to reserve them? Well, make sure you go to the app and book them as early as you can, and check out, because here it's not. Sometimes it's fully booked on the app, but there's always some space, right, that you can try to fill in.
What time is opening the reception
today?
At
5 today.
At 5 today. So I think it will be a bunch of pictures on Twitter for people that's not here to see for example, the developer lunch. It would be a really nice place to.
Oh, and if you're AWS certified, check out the certified lounge downstairs. So right here where we are is registration. And registration, I think there are a couple other places where you can register as well in the other hotels, in the other conference venues. But as you can see, there's not a big line for registration right now, so I'd encourage you guys, if you haven't already registered, to hurry up, get over here, get your badge, and come to the sessions. So downstairs from here and to the left, there is the certification lounge. And I know that there are already some people who have done the triple threat of trying to get all 3 beta certifications in one day. And I know that some people, I mean, they don't know that they succeeded, but given they already have all 5, I think we could guess that they succeeded.
And everybody that's got all 5 has a special gift. Yeah, we have a pretty cool swag. Yeah, I just got mine. That's cool.
So people seem to be asking about the Dev Lounge. And I don't know much more about it. I know I was supposed to be talking there, but then I couldn't get my schedule worked out. But I know you're speaking on Elastic Beanstalk there, right?
Yeah, the cool thing about the Dev Lounge is that you can not only listen and get some cool info, but also ask questions and draw on the board and talk about your own project and experience directly with us. And also, there's a lot of cool demos. Last year we had Raspberry Pi and Alexa integration. We had a remote voice control drone, and all sorts of cool things should be going on there. not to mention a lot of candy.
What time is your session in particular?
Let me double check, I believe it's at 4:45.
And then I think somebody else asked how long it takes to get from the Mirage to the Venetian. So I have a session at the Venetian on Thursday, and then 30 minutes later, I have a session in the Mirage. So it's my understanding that it only takes 15 minutes to get from one to the other at max. And if you're from New York, which I am, and you walk quickly, you can just try to elbow people out of the way as you're going.
Well, I got my bike with me, so I'm quicker than you there.
We'll see, I don't know.
So a little bird told me that there will be also cool robots in the developer launch this year as well.
Cool. So my sessions will be at 5 p.m. on Wednesday and Thursday, and the Wednesday at 5 is Elastic Beanstalk. So I'll be talking about how to make Elastic Beanstalk custom for your application. So if you need to add files, add drivers, or change the instances in any way that you need to make Beanstalk adapt to your application needs, that's what I'm covering. And on Thursday, I'll be talking about high-scale content delivery, specifically for e-learning. That's my expertise.
What do you think it's specific for with e-learning?
Well, the thing about e-learning is that it's not as widespread as a broadcast, like public content, but you need to be really performant because people are usually, especially in my case, that people are usually paying or expecting company training and things like this. So, and then the most important thing is cost management, because if you're not careful about how you deliver, you can get very high networking costs, and CloudFront helps a lot with that, as you know. So I'll be showing, in our case, real data on how much CloudFront saved us.
Cool.
That's really cool.
So we have a couple more questions that we'll address real quick. So SKVZT asked, are there any other sessions besides the keynotes that we're live streaming? And I believe no is the answer to that. So James Hamilton's keynote is live streamed.
Yeah, just Hamilton session tonight will be live streamed, and then the two keynotes, and Jesse and Werner.
And when it comes to the live streaming of James Hamilton's keynote, I cannot recommend it enough. Like every time I watch this guy talk, I'm just blown away. So the other kind of questions that we have are from Aika Ware. Are we participating in the Tatanka Challenge, which is the wing eating contest?
Well, I'd like that.
Well, I'm not sure because it's a tough.
Well, I'm not competitive at that, but.
Well, I know Andy Jassy is pretty big on this, and I don't know if he competes or if he just enjoys, but I hear the Cloud Ninja will be there as well.
Oh.
I'm also trying to join the Harley ride on Friday. Last year we've been through the I believe it's Fire Valley.
Wow.
On really cool motorcycles and hundreds of geeks out there. It's a very fun event. If you're into riding, I really recommend that.
And we have another question about if the keynotes are going to be live streamed on Twitch, and they won't. But I'm sure we can paste a link to how you can view the live stream in the channel. So yeah. Yeah, the park is going to be really cool for watching the keynotes. And the welcome reception for the Expo Hall is tonight at 5 p.m. or is it at 6 p.m.? 5 p.m.
Yeah. One thing that I also like is that the hands-on labs here at re:Invent are open and free for everybody, and we run them all through late night. So even if you're tired of drinking, if you want to take a slower night, you can learn a little bit more at the hands-on labs. And where is that happening? You guys know?
The hands-on labs are all over, actually.
Are over. Right?
Yeah, so there's some here in the Venetian, there's some in the Mirage, and just to go back to the keynotes and the other sessions, we're not live streaming the other sessions, but we upload just about every single session onto YouTube, and that normally takes a few days, so it might not be right after reInvent, but almost every session will be uploaded within some period of time after we all take a much needed break on Friday.
All slides are up as well.
All the slides go up, yeah. And the details get posted online pretty fast. Jeff Barr's blog posts are another great thing to look at and check out for getting some of the info and kind of distilling all of the announcements into actionable pieces of information. I recommend that as well. We'll also be live tweeting most of the sessions, and so you'll be able to see some of the slides, some of the info, some of the pictures.
Yeah, the key elements of some of the presentation. This morning I was in the live tweet of the Alexa section where Capital One was explaining how they build their skill, and they also show us that there is a joke in their app. So you can ask what you did last night. For example, if you're in a place like Vegas, it's very easy to spend a lot of money, and then they can check how much money you spend on the credit card because it's Capital One, so they have your credit card. And and if you're below a certain threshold, they tell you, okay, you just spent something. If you are above the threshold, they say, maybe you should think better of how you spend your night.
Yeah, one thing that I also find very cool is that we have special events for almost everybody. So we have receptions for certification, for certified professionals. We have geo receptions. We have user group receptions. So there's a lot of party going on.
Yeah. And also our partners are running a few parties around.
So one of the things that I'm kind of glad we've committed to at AWS reInvent this year is we've made sort of some additional commitments to accessibility. So we have mother's rooms where you can go to nurse. We have accommodations for blind, deaf, translation, and I'm really glad that we undertook those efforts. I know that there were a couple people at the hackathon last night who had translators all night long, and then there were a couple people who had American Sign Language translators as well. And getting to reach those people and have them engage with the community is so vital because they bring a perspective that is totally important, and you can't undersell or under-recognize what they bring to the table. They look at the world in a unique way, and they're able to provide a lot of input that we just never really conceive of. And I think that was prevalent in some of the hackathon teams that I saw last night when I was wandering around. They were all solving challenges for these NGOs and these nonprofits, and it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see so many different perspectives around this industry that we are in. We have from the small startups just starting to the huge enterprises here in the Expo Hall, sharing their solutions with us. Intel, I'm sure will have a lot of co-innovations going on. C3, IoT, New Relic, everybody's going to be there. Any partner or customer that you guys are excited, expecting to see at the hall?
I am really. So League of Legends is a very great video game that I enjoy playing, and Riot Games is here. Last year and the year before, they had laptops open where you could play League of Legends, and I came very close to being late for my session because I was in the middle of a game. So Riot Games, they run a huge portion of their architecture on AWS, and I'm just really excited to hear them talk. And I know they already had one session today and one session yesterday. And I just love hearing about their infrastructure, and I love playing their games. So I'm super excited to see them.
Sorry, I got distracted because someone with the golden hoodie passed by. It's the
community heroes.
We gave it to the community heroes last year.
Yeah, and the Docker space keeps growing. We have a lot of container technologies, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more coming up. And I'm really excited to see at the Expo and see what partners are doing around containers. And this is what I'm looking forward. Yeah.
So. Can people hear Abby when Abby talks? So sorry. To reiterate what Abby just said. We have a lot of really cool stuff at the Container Minicon as well. I am not a container expert. I'm not a Docker expert. I was really interested in libcontainer when that was coming out, and I was really interested in kind of the more nuanced aspects of C groups and you know.
Yeah, one thing that I think that I see a lot of customers talking about is where to draw the line between containers and serverless, right? When you use each kind of technology, because they kind of overlap in some sense, and everybody that's investing on DevOps is going to have to make this choice very soon ahead, I guess.
Yeah, of course. With containers, you simplify the way you can package your application, and then you can deploy your application and move your application across different stages from test to production. With serverless, you can really, as the term implies, start to forget that there are servers behind and focus really on the application you want to develop.
I've been playing around with a lot of containers recently, just trying to get more familiarity with it because it's one of my weak points. And I'm kind of blown away at the velocity of the development in this section, because 10 years ago containers weren't a thing except maybe at certain businesses. But now containers are utilized almost everywhere. It's super prevalent, and I'm super excited to see how customers can leverage those to build really complex solutions or really simple solutions for really complex problems.
Yeah, I was impressed when Austin Collins from Serverless talking yesterday about how fast he was saying that he went to sleep one day after publishing the project, and in the next day everybody was talking about it, cooperating and giving their input, and it's crazy how fast things goes in this kind of project.
Also in the management space, for example, most recently for the Amazon ECS, our management framework for containers, we released the possibility to listen to the events coming from the platform. So when a task, a container is started, is stopped, so that you can really listen to this feed of information and maybe react dynamically to what's happening to your infrastructure.
That was the application load balancer tracing as well.
That's another interesting.
I think that going into the containers is going to be super useful, at least in my limited experience so far.
Yeah, because with microservices, when you start to have your application decomposed in small modules, you need some way to trace where your request is flowing through all these small services, and now that you can use the ID that the load balancer adds to trace all the different requests.
One of the biggest things that came out in November for me that just solved a bunch of problems was it used to be when you had metrics in CloudWatch and you tried to click on that metric, it wouldn't take you anywhere. It wouldn't correlate to a specific log or something like that. So now when you click on that metric, you can click View the CloudWatch log, and that has solved so many issues for me, because I used to have two tabs open. I would have one on the left, one on the right, one for the whole metrics thing, and I'd say, okay, what time did this happen in? And then if I was on a plane or something, I'd be changing time zones, and on one side it would have UTC, and on the other side it would have Pacific, and it was fun.
By the way, all the times that we are speaking here is Pacific time, right?
Oh, yeah, every time we say a time, it's Pacific time.
Yeah, exactly, that sounds correct.
And
by the way, if you're interested in looking at logs and CloudWatch logs and you don't like web interface, there's also a cool project on GitHub. It's called AWS Logs. And you have this command that can really help you search our logs and grab the information of a specific request across multiple log sources.
Ooh,
so
that's
this is
cool.
a cool project.
So Abby just brought up a good point that it's really, really incredible that all of our customers are writing open source guides, open source tools, open source platforms to run on AWS. And we have this really rich marketplace as well of all the AMIs that you can launch. I mean, so many partners. This is fascinating. I love just consuming all of this stuff.
Yeah, I see that we are every day more open in the space. For example, of course, that we saw a lot of innovation coming from customers such as Netflix, and starting in private, and then they open sourced almost every part of infrastructure project that they have. And it's no different, for example, in the serverless framework, that we are helping not only partners, but the open source community as a whole with this.
I for one, am really looking forward to more open source contributions that we can make. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited to get back to reInvent. I know we have a ton of sessions, and I'd love to keep chatting with you guys. You're more than welcome to tweet it. Any one of us will put our handles in the live stream now. Please tweet at us, tweet at AWS Cloud Ninja, at AWS reInvent. Let us know what you want to see on the live stream tomorrow. Do you guys have any closing thoughts or words?
Sure, I'd say that the collaboration that we can have on this channel on Twitch is the key part of it. We are not just broadcasting out, but we really want your input on what are the topics, what do you want to know about the sessions, about the partners, and any kind of information. If we could, we would be shooting out swag through here, but
you just put it in the CD drive.
Yeah, just follow and join us.
And looking forward for the next 2 sessions after the keynotes tomorrow and on Thursday.
And again, this Twitch channel is kind of new for us, but we're really excited about it. We've had a lot of great participation so far. I'd encourage everybody to keep coming back. We're going to try and set up a regular cadence of episodes where we develop using the AWS services, just live coding and going through some sessions. So please, subscribe, check it out. Find out what cool stuff we're going to be doing. Previously, we built the daysuntilreinvent.com app, and you can see those sessions back in the videos tab on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We are just about done here. I think we're all set. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.